Hello, your boy Stace here, and this is going to be a tech video about suffixes and prefixes for computer chips made by Intel and AMD. First, I want to go over some things. First, I'm going to go over the mobile CPUs, since they're the ones that people think of the most and get confused with the most. First, there's U. What do you think, since those go into like ultra-thin laptops that are unrepairable, that U would stand for unrepairable? No, U stands for ultra-low power mobile. And then often draws 12 to 15 watts of power for the ultra-low voltage, or 28 for the high voltage, or the standard voltage U CPUs. Though these days they don't label them with a U anymore. I'm not sure what Alder Lake's gonna do, because they have the P too. And that brings us to P for Alder Lake. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a suffix, so don't get me wrong, but Alder Lake is gonna P, which means medium power mobile. Then there's H, which in the outdated Linus Tech Tips video that this is meant to replace, they say HQ. Because back then, the chips were labeled HQ, people thought high quality. No, it used to mean high power performance mobile, and Q meant quad core. But now that we don't distinguish them by quad core anymore. So that means that it's just H for high performance, power performance. Now, let's get to Y. Y is even more ultra-low power than U, actually. I think U should be labeled L and Y should be labeled U. So what does Y have to do with that? The letter Y. Anyway, then desktops. There's one that a lot of people like to get because it's more powerful and draws more power, and it's overclockable, resulting in more performance. That is K, which means it's overclockable, so you can overclock a CPU and make it faster, although that'll make it draw more power. So, turns out for Alder Lake, for the i5s, only the K versions will have efficiency cores. And then, what's next after that? Well, there's T, which means ultra low power for a desktop. Same as like the high end of ultra low power for the laptop. 35 watts though instead of 28. And they often run lower. And for the i5s, that means that's going to be just the performance cores. I'm kind of disappointed about that, okay? I think that the i3s should have four efficiency cores along with the performance cores. The Pentium should have 4P and 2E, and then Celeron should have two of each. But that's not how it's going to work, sadly. Anyway, let's move on. P is also used for the Xeons to denote like the same thing as K, but not overclockability. It's the power. And then, what's next? B, which is a mobile CPU with desktop characteristics. There's also a Tiger Lake BKB. I guess they didn't do BK because they didn't want it to be like Burger King. Anyway, now the most dramatic one of them all, X, which is used in the Core X series, which is no longer Core i9. Core i9 now is in the mainstream. Core X is the high end. And X means that that's like extreme, high power, high performance, overclockable. That's what X means, because it's extreme. And then E, coming at X Extreme Edition, means Extreme Edition, but when it's with an X, but E means embedded. And HL means like the H processors, but low power. 8 versions of H. And then there's just way too many suffixes to describe on the Xeons, so I'm sorry. I can't do that. Like the Xeon Scalable. This is just... And then there's G for AMD CPUs, meaning it's graphics, and E means that's lower power with the graphics. That's basically what these all mean. So if I was recommending a CPU to get for a PC, I'd recommend a K model, one with a K. For a laptop, I'd recommend a 28-watt U or a 45-watt H, because those 15-watt chips are just slow. Bye.